give an introduction to her. Upasana Sarraju is a molecular biologist turned science writer from Bengaluru. She's a FAST India Science Book Fellow and holds a Master's in Science Writing from the Johns Hopkins University. She has written on animal welfare, biology, and the human condition for the Science Writer, Hindustan Times, the Bombay Literary Magazine, the Xylome, and many other publications. She's currently working on her debut nonfiction book, forthcoming from Penguin Random House, India. Her book will be out in a couple of weeks, and we will tell you the name of the book, and I'm sure everyone would want to pre-order it because it's going to be a great book also.
The first thing we're going to do is introduce ourselves. My name is Upasana, and that's all you can call me. No, ma'am. Nothing else needed. And I would love to get to your names soon. But first, this question has already been asked, but I'll ask again. Who loves science here? That's a lot of hands. Another question. Who loves science a lot? A lot. Okay, not bad. Who loves science as much as I do? 2 hands. All right. I'm going to find out now how good you are at guessing what is real science and not so real science. But first, let me tell you a little bit about a book I wrote. It is about something called the Ig Nobel Prizes. Have we heard of the Nobel Prizes? Have we heard of the Ig Nobel Prizes? Would you like to tell us what it's about?
They're a separate set of prizes given out for the sciences by actual Nobel Prize winners. I do remember having watched, I think, a video about them, but I don't remember the exact details, ma'am.
Would you like to share your name?
My name is Arun.
Can we have a round of applause for Arun for what he shared with us? Thank you. The Ig Nobel Prizes, like our friend just said, are a set of awards given to scientists, and lots of ideas and thinkers. But the thing about the Ig Nobel Prizes is while the Nobel Prizes celebrate really important, serious, life-changing, world-changing research, the Ig Nobel Prizes celebrate funny research. Science that makes you laugh and then makes you think. So this is what I've chosen to write about because did you know that there are many, many Indian scientists who have won Ig Nobels? We had a Nobel laureate this morning. We should also eventually have Ig Nobel laureates, I hope, because their science is just as interesting, just as important, and slightly better because it's funnier and a lot more fun. Now, what we'll do today is I'll read out a few paragraphs from a book I wrote about the Ig Nobel Prizes. Feel free to become bored if you don't like it, because the fun part comes after. We're going to play a little game where you are going to guess whether a topic or an idea I'm going to show you on the board is a real Ig Nobel Prize winning scientific topic, or it's something I just made up right now. Yeah? And the winner, we'll figure out how to get a winner, gets a silly hat. That very hat. Somebody wants the hat already? Let's hope you do really, really well. And if there's someone who wants to get something other than a hat, we have these silly glasses. And third place gets a drink of water. All right. This chapter is called Human Beings Are Not Healthy, Homogeneous Rats. People do things. And sometimes they do things in a way that's interesting to brain scientists. Centers of brain science and mind-related mysteries like the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, or NIMHANS in Bangalore, house many scientists asking questions like, why do people do things? And is it too late for me to become an engineer? The exhilarating, befuddling dance of brains and minds and behaviors keeps these scientists and clinicians happily engaged. It also keeps us alive and functioning, or on occasion, malfunctioning. Here in its pleasantly aged buildings, scientists and clinicians try to decode why we divorce our partners. Ooh. And why sad music makes us sad. Oh. The vibrantly sepia corridors of NIMHANS are best represented by Dr. Chittaranjan Andrade, also called CA, who until his retirement in 2025 was one of the most senior fixtures at the institute. Time for a pop quiz. What is the name of the institute I just talked about? Oh, no adults. No adults. Yes, please, our friend again.
I believe the short form was NIMHANS, National Institute of Mental Health and Neurological Science.
Not bad at all. Another round of applause. Who remembers the name now after we've heard it? Go on.
The National of Mental Health, they study mental health, basically, the people there.
Mental health and the brain. What's your name?
Ekarth.
Ekarth. Well done, Ekarth. Now, CA, the scientist, is an example of a specialist who defies genres. He is a clinical psychopharmacologist, a mountaineer, an athlete, a magician, a musician, an author, a psychiatrist. CA is also one of the most cited psychiatry researchers in the world. This distinct characteristic won him and his student the 2001 Ig Nobel Prize in Public Health. You can't see this, but here's a picture of CA doing a floating magic rope trick. The individuals who dedicate their lives to brain things and mental health and its subdisciplines aren't just mad scientists. Behind every groundbreaking theory or eyebrow-raising experiment is a real person, a real human being. Scientists are real human beings, did you know? They're not just nerds. They're not just people who hide away in labs and do mysterious little magic tricks and experiments with flasks and colored chemistry and bubbles and explosions. They're real people. Someone with allergies, movie preferences, maybe a mildly concerning number of empty pens rolling around the house. CA is a prime example of this delightful blend of intellect and idiosyncrasy. In December 2020, while all of us in India reeled from the pandemic, 60-something-year-old CA scaled 2 Himalayan peaks, Kala Pathar and Chukungri. CA wrote of his Himalayan adventure. There is no applause from crowds when a climber reaches a summit. There is no triumphant music either, just the sound of rasping breath in the thin mountain air. What CA didn't write was that he was almost kidnapped. But he wasn't actually kidnapped. It was close. 1 year prior, CA climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. CA has also crafted scientific writings with delightful names, like How to Swallow a Pill, How to Read a Research Paper. Is sitting harmful to health? The answer is yes, sometimes, conditionally. Don't sit too much. But now it's okay. Odd odds. Why some psychiatrists may be unwilling to receive electroconvulsive therapy. Age is a number, not a group. CA is also interested in whether others are interested in brains. In 2000, he co-authored a paper that inquired, do Indian researchers read Indian research? It critiqued the journal, Indian Journal of Psychiatry, the very journal that the paper was published in. The same year, he wrote up a clinical diagnosis for a character in the short story, The Treatment of B.B. Haldar by Jhumpa Lahiri. But his best-known academic mirth comes from a study titled A Preliminary Survey of Rhinotelexomania in an Adolescent Sample, or in plain English, nose-picking among teenagers. That's right, nose-picking. For his keen insight into the fact that some adolescents do indulge in the manual evacuation of their nose, CA won the Ig Nobel Prize for Public Health. In 2001, CA flew to Harvard University to personally accept the award from a real Nobel laureate for this study and said to the audience, "Hi there, everybody. On behalf of myself and on behalf of everybody else who is happy for me, I am happy to accept this year's Ig Nobel Prize in Public Health." And he walked home with the Ig Nobel Prize, which was 2 cans attached by a string. But why would someone serious, someone with a beard, someone important, investigate nose picking? And why did someone think to award this research? CA was inspired by a similar 1995 study on adults in Dane County, Wisconsin, USA. It did not separate out how much of nose picking is done only by adolescents, leaving a very attractive gap in research for someone very adventurous. CA student B.S. Srihari serendipitously sought a research opportunity at the time, and CA proposed this Ig-winning investigation. How many teenagers pick their nose? It falls in the same category of behaviors as pulling your hair out compulsively, or biting your nails, or scratching your skin a lot. Compulsive nose picking has been observed in people with diseases like schizophrenia and obsessive compulsive disorder, sometimes to such a severe extent that people pick through the septum, making a hole between the nostrils. Do we know what a septum is? It's that little bridge between your nostrils. So what CA found out was that some people pick their nose so much, they make a hole in their nose, a third hole. So why would someone important and serious study something like this? Because to define the boundaries between compulsive behaviors and normal behaviors, you need to study a wide variety of people. As CA puts it, unless you know what is normal in the population, how do you know what is abnormal in the population? The Ig Nobel-winning scientists answer this question. Nose picking is actually quite common among adolescents. But CA, being the jokester, inserted one question into his survey. Do you occasionally eat the nasal matter that you have picked? That's a good question. Why would someone do this? A real scientist. And yeah, that's the little excerpt from my book. For the rest of it, please buy the book. It's available on pre-order on Amazon, Padhega India. It's called Unruly, Unruly, written by Upasana Sarraju. And now we come to the fun part. I have here a bunch of colored cards. Each one says a topic or a research question or a scientific idea. Some of these in this entire pile have actually won real Ig Nobel awards. And some of these I just made up on the way here. So you are going to guess which is real and which is fake silly science. Anyone who likes to play can just hop on up, read what's on the card, and say their guess.